Welcome to day 3 of sexual influence. Today we're going to be talking about the secret subcommunication you need to have when talking to a woman in order to sexually influence her. Before we get into today's topic, let's do a quick recap of day 1 and day 2. So, in day 1 we said our brains are actually 3 brains developed one on top of the other. Our oldest brain is called our lizard brain, what I call the sex brain. In order for you to sexually influence a woman, you need to communicate directly with her sex brain. We said that the lizard brain, aka the sex brain, is the brain that's concerned with survival and replication. Said simply, the lizard brain is the one that chooses the sexual mates. We also said that the lizard brain is impulsive, and the lizard brain makes the decision of sexual partners first and then sends that message up to the more evolved brain, her neocortex. So if you want to sexually influence women, which is a fancy way of saying if you want to trigger instant attraction in women, you need to speak to her lizard brain, not her neocortex. If you haven't watched day 1, you can go back, watch that, and understand the details of what I'm talking about. In day 2, we said in order for you to influence her sex brain and get it to pay attention to you and to choose you as a potential mate, you need to offer her sex brain the 2 things that it wants most. The 2 things her sex brain wants most are security and adventure. Now, we divided adventure into 2 parts, adventure outside the bedroom and adventure inside the bedroom. So, now you're all caught up, but I highly recommend that you watch day 1 and day 2. But now today we're going to talk about day 3, which is we're going to talk about the secret conversation that happens below the surface that is not necessarily a verbal conversation that the lizard brain understands. And now in day 3, we're going to talk about the subcommunication you need to have, that other conversation you need to have in order to trigger attraction in women and to communicate to her sex brain. So what you need to know is that when you're talking to a woman, there are 2 conversations happening at the same time. One is the verbal, okay, so it's on this level, let's say, the verbal conversation you're having. And then there's your subcommunication, which is, the camera's low, which is coming kind of through your body. It's the non-verbal communication you're having with a woman. So when you're talking to a woman, I want you to imagine 2 lines. One is, what am I speaking? And the other line is, what am I saying non-verbally? What messages am I sending non-verbally? In order for you to be a good sexual communicator, you have to be a good communicator. You need to know how to communicate to her lizard brain. So let's talk about these 2 planes of communication. The mistake a lot of guys make, guys that aren't good with women, is they think there's only one line of communication happening with women, okay? So the guy goes up to the woman, hey, how are you doing? Oh yeah, you look nice in that dress. Oh, you're really pretty. Where are you from? What's your name? Blah, blah, blah. And he thinks that the communication is just on this one plane, right? And then what happens is women talk to him, and if I ask him, hey, how did the conversation go? He'll tell me, it wasn't really great, it wasn't really bad, it was just kind of like, it was okay, right? And this okayness is kind of like your death sentence when it comes to attraction. When you talk to a woman, you have to emotionally impact her. You need to stir her emotions. If you're like a thing that a lot of guys puzzles a lot of guys is they say, Jad, you know what? I can be relaxed. I can be playful. I can talk to a woman. I can even keep the conversation going for a long time. But the girls, they never want to see me again. What's going on? What's missing? What's missing is a whole other plane of communication. You're only speaking at them here with the words, but there's this whole other universe of communication that you're not aware of and not intentionally communicating on. A man who's good with women understands, number 1, there are 2 planes of communication, my words and my nonverbal communication, also known as subcommunication. right? And a good seducer is very intentional with both planes of communication. He knows what he's communicating on both planes. In addition to that, a smart seducer understands that communication is only 7% words and 93% nonverbal communication. So your words only account for around 7% of your communication. So up till now, if all you've been focused on is your words, you've been missing 93% of that pie, which is the subcommunication. And that is one major reason why you're not really communicating, impacting, and connecting with women. So, in day 2, we said that you need to offer her sex brain 2 things. Number 1, I am your source for security. I will make you feel safe. And number 2, I am your best source for adventure, inside the bedroom and outside the bedroom. Now, those aren't things that you can just say with your words like, hey girl, I'm your best source for security. Hey girl, I'm your best source for adventure and passionate sex. You can't speak that with your words. That's where your subcommunication comes in. So what you want to do is, on one level, you want to be saying, hey, yeah, what's your name? What school are you coming from? What school did you go to? Blah, blah, blah. On this level. But then on this level, you need to be communicating those 2 things. Hey, I am your source for security. Hey, I am your source of adventure. Okay? Now, this nonverbal communication, this is a form of sexual communication that I call primal sexfluence. Primal sexfluence. So, I created this term. Let me break it down. What does it mean? Primal refers to her primal brain, her lizard brain, which in day 1 we said it's the oldest brain. It's very primal. It's concerned with sex, domination, survival. It's primal, right? It's impulsive. And then sexfluence is made out of 2 words, sexual influence. So what you want in order to trigger attraction in women and have them see you as a potential lover and not just as a friend is you want to have primal sexual influence, which means you are influencing a woman on a primal level, communicating directly to her primal brain, which is aka her lizard brain, her sex brain. So when I coach guys, I teach them the language of primal sexfluence. Primal sexfluence is a nonverbal language that exists on the second plane that you're projecting to women. And this is a language women's lizard brains can understand. And primal sexfluence is as specific and real of a language as the English language. So anybody can learn it. Now, inside my mentorship program, we spend 5 whole weeks learning the entire language of primal sexfluence. So obviously I don't have the time to go through it in detail like I would inside my elite program. But if you're someone who's serious about mastering this, you can just click the link here or here and book a call to see if you would like to get my 6-month mentorship. For now, here's what I can share with you. In order for you to start communicating with this primal sexfluence, you need to focus on speaking on this plane with your words, and then with your energy, you need to be communicating to a woman through your nonverbals. I am your best source for security, and I am your best source for adventure outside the bedroom and inside the bedroom. So while you're talking to her, she should feel that vibe of adventure, of power, of danger, and of security while you're just talking about whatever you're talking about. You are always having a conversation on 2 planes simultaneously. Communicating these 2 things to women in the right way can completely change your game. I've had students who came to me as asexual nice guys, and after we taught them the entire primal sexfluence model, which includes how to embrace your sexuality and amplify your sexuality and project your sexuality and sexual presence in a non-creepy way, these guys turned from harmless nice guys into bad motherfuckers. Now they're able to consistently get casual sex from women. Women are pursuing them. We were laughing the other day in one of my group coaching sessions because one guy was asking me, "Hey Jad, there are these girls who are interested in me, but I'm not interested in them. How do I get rid of them?" So now my students they're asking me the opposite, like, "Hey, I got too much. How do I get rid of them?" Right? Which was funny. But point being, we can transform you from this asexual nice guy that women just ignore to this guy that triggers women's sex brains and they're like, damn, that's the guy I want. Okay? You need to understand you can adopt the qualities of the jerk and the bad boy without becoming a toxic guy, but adopting those irresistible traits that women can't resist. So that's also part of the Primal Sexfluence framework. So don't ignore your subcommunication. Don't be the naive guy that thinks you're only having one conversation on one plane. You're not even in the game if that's what you think and if that's what you're focused on. 93% of your communication comes from below. That's why I spent 5 weeks on it inside my program. So tomorrow I'm going to share a big success story with you of one of my students that transformed from super nice guy virgin to a guy that's constantly and for the past, I think 3 years plus, has been having casual sex, 2 girlfriends at the same time, all this crazy stuff. And this guy was the most elementary guy in the program, and he turned out to be the most badass. And a big part of that was the Primal Sexfluence framework and language. So we're going to talk all about that tomorrow. And for now, I want to tell you about something that I'm very excited about. I have put together a 6-month coaching program where I'm going to mentor you one-on-one for 6 months over Zoom, and we're going to get your game to a level it's never been before. Now, this isn't only about how to get good with women, although that's going to be the main point. But along with that, we're going to get you your dream body. We're going to get you your diet dialed in, your nutrition dialed in. We're going to get you disciplined like you've never been before. We're going to get you hitting the gym like you've never done before. And we're going to give you a daily process, a daily ritual, so that in your life, you are more productive, you have more time off, and you're just killing it in life. I want to help you become the 10.0 version of yourself. I said a few years ago in a video, if you want to get a 10, you need to be a 10. If you want to get a 10, you need to be a 10. With this 6-month program, you will have extreme accountability, which means I'm going to be calling you out. I'm going to be on your ass. And I'm living this program as well, so we're going to be living it together. I'm hitting the gym. I'm doing cold showers. I've got my diet dialed in. I've got my daily process. Everything that I'm going to be teaching you, I'm living, and I'm going to hold you to the highest standard, and you're going to have the transformation of a lifetime, not just with women, but also in terms of mindset, body, appearance, style, and confidence. Your confidence is just going to shoot through the roof. And the byproduct of being this amazing 10.0 version of yourself is you're going to become a magnet. When you walk into rooms, women are going to be like, boom, oh, who's that guy? Okay? When we have all this stuff dialed in, plus the Primal Sexfluence communication, you're going to be walking into rooms and women are going to be like, oh, who's that guy? And then when you start talking to these women, they're going to be like, damn, this guy's different. Damn, this guy's a 10.0 guy. Damn, I want more of this guy. Okay? I'm going to show you how to emotionally impact women. So when you talk to them, even if it's a short 1-2 minute conversation, you're going to leave them emotionally impacted. When you walk away, they're going to be like, damn, I hope he calls me. Damn, I hope I see him again. I want more. I'm going to teach you everything from A to Z, from high all the way to sex, on how to seduce the most beautiful women in person. I have field-tested, proven frameworks for every single step of the seduction. You will have absolutely no guesswork, and you're going to make the fastest progress you've ever made with women. I don't care if you've been stuck for 5 years, 10 years, 7 years. A lot of my students come to me, by the time they come to me and hire me for mentorship, they've already been stuck for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. They've been desperately studying this stuff on their own, but they stayed stuck. Then they finally bit the bullet, invested in themselves, got on the coaching program with me, and now they have girlfriends, they're having casual relationships, some are married, some are engaged. It's proven, field tested, it worked for them, it'll work for you too. So if you're thinking, yeah, Jad, but you know what, there's a lot of information online, I can probably figure this out on my own. You can, maybe, okay? It's gonna take you years. But if you're a guy who values his time over money, if you're a guy who doesn't want to waste another year or two missing out on amazing sex, amazing relationships, amazing women, and you just want to get this handled, coaching and mentorship is the fastest, surest way. It is your insurance policy that you will for sure get this handled. So if this excites you as much as it excites me, click that button below, book a call with me, and we will discuss if this 6-month extreme accountability mentorship program is for you. If I go back to my story when I was in your shoes trying to get this woman thing handled, the turning point for me is when I hired a mentor and he constantly pointed out my blind spots and gave me that course correction. I know that you know a lot of things about the game, but sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes you're just a few degrees off here, a few degrees off here, and that's making you miss out on the beautiful women. I have another saying that I've said for years. There is a fine line between getting a girl and losing a girl. Okay, there's a very fine line between getting a girl and losing a girl. What a mentor does is he course corrects you so you're within that range where you're succeeding more than you're failing. And if you're worried about the investment, just think about this. You're going to spend the money somewhere else anyways, either on a vacation, a new computer, a new laptop, a car, or whatever. Why not use that money investing in yourself in something that will pay you back 100 times? Why do I say it's going to pay you back 100 times? Because I invested in mentors myself. And then because of that, I was able to get some of the hottest women. Now, I'm not bragging or saying, hey, I get the hottest women in my eyes, okay? And being with the most beautiful angels in the world is priceless. So I never missed the money that I invested in myself because it's still paying me back 100-fold, 1,000-fold. It's priceless, to be honest, right? So where do you want to put your money? Your money is going to be spent somewhere. You might as well spend it on one of the most valuable things, which is relationships. And the end of the day, on your deathbed, what you're going to remember are the memories you had with those people and with those beautiful women. You're not going to remember that car or that laptop or that new phone, or, you know, so you waste a lot of money on stuff that doesn't really give you as much life fulfillment as this could give you. So just think about that. Don't be so scared about investing in yourself. If you really think about it, you're like, you probably spent the same money on electronics and other shit. And let's be honest, that doesn't really make you happy for very long. So if you're interested in mentorship, click that button below, book a free 15-minute call, and we'll talk. Thank you for joining me today. Tomorrow we'll wrap it up on day 4 of Sexual Influence, where I'll tell you the story of transformation, where a guy went from a super nice guy into a bad motherfucker. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.